Alright, well, hi everyone. I'm Ryan, as you know, and this is my FOA. So the question we'll be asking, or I'll be asking today, is how does music reflect the language and culture of the times it is played? And while looking at this, we'll be looking at the lyrics of the music, and we'll be looking at the tone, the register, and the style, to name a few. And the two objectives we'll be doing are students will show how mass media use language and image to inform, persuade, or entertain, and students will examine different forms of communication through the media. So my sources that I'll be using are the two different versions of Happy Together we listened to in class, one by the Turtles in 1967 and the other one by Filter from 2009. So music overall is a very broad topic. By Merriam-Webster's definition, it is the science or art of ordering tones or sounds in succession, in combination, and in temporal relationships to produce a composition having unity and continuity. Music has been around since the dawn of human civilization. First, beginning instruments made by humans were often made out of animal bones. One of the first being, it was a flute made out of a bear femur. I don't know how that worked, but I guess it did. The music that humans commonly used was used to communicate with each other, to celebrate joyous occasions such as weddings or the birth of royalty, and in religious ceremonies such as praying for good crops or even just praying to a god of some sort. Now, lyrics of music are what make up many songs that we listen to today. Lyrics are used by the narrator of the song or the singer, him or herself, to communicate their message to their audience. As an example, a ballad singer might sing how much they love someone, or a rapper might spit some sick rhymes about how they don't like something. Lyrics can also be used to reflect the time period of the music. With opera lyrics are very Shakespearean and regal, which helps reflect the time when opera was a big part of civilization, the 16th through 18th century. People dressed very fancy, and we often referred to each other as ladies and gentlemen, and we'd walk by and we'd tip our hats, but it's different. With Freddie Mercury of Queen, we had the rock persona, which came up in the 1970s, and he helped bring the rise of it, where people would constantly go around playing air guitars and just enjoying the music while being more of a rough and rugged kind of person. Whereas we have Frank Sinatra, who helped bring along the rise of pop music in the 1940s, which helped also bring America kind of out of its shell as it was towards the start of World War II. We'll now go over the two songs that or at least this one. Kurt? I'll tell you what
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, it leaves my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. Toss the dice, it had to be.
So, this version was the first version of the song ever sang. It was by the Turtles, and it was released in 1967. At the time, the Beatles were at the top of the charts as the British invasion was coming in, but the Turtles knocked them out of their -- spot for 3 weeks straight. While listening to the song, you can obviously see how the song is very jumpy and happy-go-lucky feel. The song meanings. There are multiple meanings that a song could have, but there are two main ones for this one. One is obviously the narrator loves someone, and they just can't see themselves without anyone else, whereas for the lyric, I can't see me loving nobody but you. But another meaning could perhaps be something darker in other people's eyes, but also pretty happy. While you could be thinking about it as drugs. Lyrics like "hold her tight," people could think is a rolled joint of some sort. "Call you up" could be a dealer. And "ease my mind," well, that could just be relaxing. So, but what exactly was happening during the 1960s? Well, it was when people were looking for peace in a time of war. The Vietnam War was at a high, and the hippie community was rising because of it. Now, the hippies did something that many people do today, I believe, and they practiced smoking cannabis or marijuana, which was one of the main proposed song meanings. So perhaps the song meaning itself isn't so much about loving someone, but just helping reflect upon the time period we were in, about how many people in the world were smoking cannabis as a way to escape their mortal coils and their problems. The hippie language of the time was also very free-sounding and happy, sort of like the tone and lyrics of this song, with phrases like "far out" or "grooving" or "the man." Could you play that?
Imagining you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together.
So for this song, this was a cover of the original song by the Turtles, made by the band Filter in 2009. The song itself was made for a movie called The Stepfather that was released in 2009, which was coincidentally also a remake, but the original movie had come out in 1987. So while doing this, we'll be looking at how the song itself compares to 1987, as that's when the original movie came out. The song has a very ominous, darker tone as compared to the first one. Almost it's like, instead of being happy while you listen to the Turtles version, you feel kind of sad and maybe a little bit angry when you hear this version. As the chorus itself becomes angry, like the person is yelling at someone, like they're mad at their lover or something. The message conveys, because of that, the message conveys is a completely different meaning. Instead of loving somebody, you could perhaps be a person's stalker, and you just don't understand why they won't love you back. Or you could just be angry at them, thus producing a much darker tone. Many people were influenced by the events of the 80s. These events included stuff like Chernobyl, which destroyed a large majority of Russia and that area around there, and the Iran-Iraq War. And the language of the times becomes violent. Common phrases of people in the 1980s included "bite me," "bang your face," and "hoser." The phrases' angry meanings are reflected in this song because the song itself just doesn't, it makes you want to go home and cry. The Turtles, they make you happy, but as with Filter, they can be seen as a more dark band, heavy metal, as you would. So with an overview of everything, we can see that music reflects the culture and language of the times through its lyrics. But not exactly just through its lyrics, you also have to look at its meaning. Because one person could read lyrics of a song one way and the other person could read lyrics of another way. Seeing as, I don't know, Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. I mean, one could just think it's like a cute little children's tune about living in a submarine, but one could think about, oh, if someone's crazy enough, they could think it's like the Soviet Union's gonna attack us, because that was a high time during the Cold War, and submarine warfare was a big time. So, all in all, if we just, you don't just look at the words of a song itself, but look at its inner meaning too. Thank you for listening.